Hi, I'm Pat Montgomery, and I'm the author of Now You Know What I Know, Parenting Wisdom of a Grandmother, which is a Mom's Choice Book Award winner, and also The Patriot Parent, Still the Best Hope for America. I also did a radio show for 5 years called Parents Rule on Radio Sandy Springs in Sandy Springs, Georgia. Had such a good time doing the show, but circumstances in life kind of messed around, and I decided it was time to take a change. This is my change, and I'm really excited about it. I've moved Parents Rule to YouTube, and I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. If you've listened to the show before, you already know that Parents Rule is your home for parenting information, advice, and encouragement, which we all need as parents. And you can find out more about me and more about this show and books and my blog and everything on parentsrulewithpat.com. I thought long and hard about what we were going to do this show about today, since it's the inaugural show. I decided we'd just start with the basics. What's a parent? A lot of people will tell you that it's a husband and wife combination, that it's a single mom, a same-sex couple. Who knows? There's all kinds of different parents out there. But I wanted to delve deeper than that. So what is a parent? And to me, a parent has a threefold purpose in a child's life. You're a vehicle, you're a caregiver, and you're a teacher. So what do I mean by all these? Well, first of all, when a soul comes into this world, they transport here and have to be put into a body. And it's our job to create that little body for them. And in God's wisdom, He got the perfect vehicles with a male and a female with the right body parts and hormones and everything else to come together to complete that process. The easiest part of being a parent, well, it was for me. I know some people struggle, but the majority of people, that's the easiest part, and it's fun. So not as much fun is doing dirty diapers, and we're moving into the caregiver role here. But caregiver role is extremely important. I remember holding my daughter when she was just a few weeks old and realizing all of a sudden that she couldn't do anything for herself. Nothing. If the house caught on fire, she would die if I didn't get her out. She couldn't eat for herself. There was no way she could protect herself from anything. And it was kind of awe-inspiring for me to realize that I brought this helpless little body into this world, and now I had to give everything I had to her until she could take care of herself. Caregiver roles are things like feeding and bathing and protection, lots of things like that. Just keeping them safe, letting them grow up. The hardest role, I thought, as a parent, was the teacher role. The teacher role is extremely important. And I usually combine it with teacher/example, because our kids learn more from us by what we do than what we say. Trust me, when they're teenagers, they're not listening to you, but they're watching everything you do. And I worried about, well, when do I teach her how to use a cup, and when do I teach my son how to use a spoon, and things like that. And what I found out is that's the easy part. They'll tell you. When my kids were ready to feed themselves, they reached out and they got the spoon off my plate and they started trying to feed themselves. And I went, oh, light bulb moment. They're ready to move on. And how did they do that? How did they know to do that? They were watching me. Example again. The most important thing you need to remember about teaching, being the teacher example for this child, and I'm going to say this twice because I really want you to hear it. What you're doing is you're not raising children. You are raising the next generation of adults that are going to run our world. Okay, pause for effect. Think about this. You're not raising children. You don't want a child/adult sitting on your couch at 40, eating Cheetos, playing video games with no job. You are raising the next generation of adults that are going to run our world. It's a terrible, terrible, awesome, wonderful responsibility that you've been given. So it's important for you to not only be that good example and show your child all the things they need to learn, and I'm going to give you a list of those in a minute, but you need to surround your child with other people who feel the same way that you do. So what do you need to teach them? You need to teach them first and foremost respect for themselves and respect for others. You need to teach them courtesy, tolerance for people and other people's ideas that may not match yours. You need to teach them about the laws and the rules of society. And you need to teach them about the love of God and the love of our country and the love of our wonderful Mother Nature. And you need to teach them about loving themselves and loving their family and loving their friends and everyone else. You need to teach them to be productive and the strong, strong, wonderful power of diligence and persistence. You need to teach them honesty, and you need to teach them purity. It's so amazing that parents don't often think about the example they're setting with their kids. So, for instance, if your child is watching you and you come back to the car after being in a store and you're laughing because the store clerk gave you too much change back, what have you taught your child? Probably last week you just told them don't cheat, don't steal, and they've just watched you do both and laugh about it. Is that the message you want to send them? You just got to think about these things when you're living your life and what you want them to learn and what you want the world to become, because it's not just what this child's going to become, but what is the world going to be. All right, let's move on. I haven't mentioned love, and I'm sure some of you are going, yay, but what about parent love? What about parent love? Well, love's the best part. Not only do parents have the wonderful, rewarding privilege of assisting a new life in this world, but love permeates everything we do. Love is there at the creation of this child. Love is there in the caregiving. Love is there in the teaching. It's pretty amazing. And what you need to do to help show them that love, trust me, my kids are grown. We're having grandkids now. They grew up so fast. They're gone so quickly out of your life. You just can't imagine. And take time. I don't care if you have 5 minutes, 3 minutes. Put everything aside. Put the phone down. Put the PDA down. Turn off the computer. Turn off the TV. Focus. Talk to that child for a few minutes every day. I don't care if it's 2 minutes or 30 minutes. But each child in your family, do that with them. It's amazing what will come of it. And I promise you, you will never, ever regret it. But you will regret it if you don't do it. I can promise you that. You also show them love and teach them love, and part of the teaching is setting boundaries and limits on their lives. For instance, you can't, if you're a woman and you're being beaten up by your husband, what are you teaching your son and your daughter? If you're staying in that situation, allowing it to happen, you're telling your son he can cross that boundary and that women are there to be beat up and belittled. You're teaching your daughter that men can come across her boundary and can beat her up and belittle her. You don't want to do that. Please don't ever, ever let your child see that happen to you without you fighting back and changing that life. One of the things I want to tell you is I want to give you a word of caution. Each soul enters this world with a reason to be here. You are to help that soul grow and achieve their purpose by helping them. You're not here to define that purpose. That happens too many times that parents try to do that. But remember, you're not your child. You've had your life, and you are living your life. If you don't like your life, you change it. Don't make your child live the life you wanted to live. You are the vehicle of their birth. You are the caregiver of their youth. You are the teacher and the living example of life. And you are the unconditional love that surrounds that child for the rest of their lives. But what they do with the information that they get is completely up to them. There's a time when you have to back off, and you have to let them fly on their own. And that's very difficult. And that's going to be a whole new topic. We'll talk about that another time. But I want to thank you for joining me today. Again, my website is parentsrulewithpat.com. You can find me on Facebook under Parents Rule, and we'll be talking again soon. Thank you.